Last week I posted my review of the FLSUN S1 3D printer. It was not a particularly positive review. I did my best to be nice and to be constructive and provide useful information both to you, the viewer, and also back to the company so they can improve the product. But in a nutshell, the printer was super fast. It just wasn't very good. The print quality really wasn't there, and some of the marketing claims made by the company were misleading at best or downright deceptive at worst. I have some notes here to keep me on track. Believe it or not, I do sometimes wander off in the weeds and get distracted by things, so hopefully this helps. Now, when I post a video like this, I always look at the comments because I'm super interested to see how people are receiving it, especially when it's something that's negative. I'm really hoping to see that people are understanding what I tried to communicate and are understanding the message the way I intended to communicate it. And looking at this video, I saw a lot of that, and I saw a lot of actually very flattering response. We can take a look at a few of the comments here. I'm just looking at the top comments that YouTube has here at the top. You and Angus are the only guys I trust for reviews. Another banger, as the kids like to say. Love it. You're the gold standard for 3D printer reviews. Brutally honest. I bought a Bamboo X1C based on your review and have been really happy with it. Okay, this is starting to sound really self-serving. What I'm trying to do here is show you in context the kind of comments that I expect to see on this video, this kind of video, and the kind of comments that I actually got. I'm expecting to see comments that say things like, "Oh, that's disappointing that printer isn't very good," or "I had one of their other products and it was really great," or "I had one of their other products and it was really not very great," or "They made promises in the past to fix things like this and they did," or "They didn't," or "You're really great. I love watching your videos because I know you'll give it to me straight," or "This guy's a total shill." And I did get a mix of that. It was more positive than negative. And there's some constructive stuff in here. I wonder if the engineers need external feedback to make the bosses listen. That's interesting. That sounds like somebody who's actually done product development before. That test file makes me think of the Volkswagen diesel engine EPA debacle. Yeah, it made me think of that too. Quality and depth of your testing and analysis is outstanding. And these just go on and on and on. Absolute fascinating presentation. Love the honesty. This is a comment back to FLSUN. Stop making copies of a slicer that you just make worse compared to all the open source. Yeah, great. Awesome detailed review. Thank you for the review. I love your reviews. Okay, so this is all great, and that ended up looking a lot more self-serving than I intended. What this video about, though, is yesterday morning I went in to look at the comments to see what was happening, and I noticed a block of comments that looked really suspicious to me. This is a series of, let's see, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 comments here that were all posted over the course of 6 minutes. At this point in the life cycle of the video, it was getting a comment or two an hour, and these all came in within 6 minutes of each other. Let me read them to you. In the early stages of any technology, challenges and shortcomings are inevitable. I look forward to them resolving the issues they face quickly and effectively. Companies that dare to try and break through deserve our praise. I hope that with FLSUN's lead, Bamboo can also launch a fast printer. FLSUN is going through the necessary process of an innovative product, which may have some shortcomings in the early stages. I believe FLSUN can solve the problems as soon as possible. As a V400 user, one of their other products, I appreciate FLSUN's innovative spirit and have high hopes for the product. I understand the potential shortcomings of early products and believe FLSUN can make quick improvements. When evaluating FLSUN's products, we should recognize that any innovative product may face some challenges in the early stages. From an industry observer's perspective, FLSUN's efforts in the 3D printing field are commendable. I believe they can solve the current problems and drive progress in the fast printer field for other companies like Bamboo. It's normal in any innovation process to have these kinds of issues. I hope they can respond quickly to resolve them. Innovation always comes with risks and challenges. I think FLSUN's breakthrough in the high-speed 3D printing field has indeed encountered some difficulties in the early stages, but this is the path that technological progress must go through. I hope FLSUN... Don't know what happened there. There is not a chance in the world that these comments are organic or even came from humans. Somebody paid a bot farm to post these. There's just no way statistically that you would see this many comments, all using the same wording, all expressing the same sentiment, all coming in over such a short period of time on a video that, like I said, was down to getting about a comment or two an hour by the time these were posted. These are very clearly from a bot farm, and somebody paid to have these things generated. And the thing that amazes me about this is that they're not actually that good. I mean, the sentiment is exactly what the company would want people to think, or they would want to put out this idea of, oh, this is what happens when you're fast and innovative. I don't know. This company's been making printers like this for a long time. And while this particular printer is faster than the others, it's just an extension of the same technologies. So, I mean, this is all just nonsense. And it's not that convincing. When you read through this is not what a human being would write, at least not a disinterested human being. This is clearly just intended to shape the market and intended to shape public opinion. And in fact, all of these comments, you can't go read them on the video because a couple of hours after I grabbed this screenshot, they all disappeared. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if YouTube scrubbed them, saw them as bot comments and pulled them. I went through and looked at all of the accounts that posted these, and the vast majority of them are relatively young accounts that were created in the last year or two, had relatively small levels of activity. There was one account in here that actually had a few subscribers and had some activity on it that looked like maybe it was a real person. Then again, a lot of these bot farms are using accounts that they compromised and got access to, and so you can't necessarily tell just by looking at the account where this stuff came from, or know that because it came from an established account, it was actually written by the user who owns that account. I don't know if YouTube scrubbed these. I know they put a lot of effort into cleaning up stuff like this and trying to prevent spam comments on the platform. So I don't know if they got to this and wiped them, but I sure hope whoever paid for these was able to get their money back, because these got scrubbed within hours. And you can bet there were probably a lot more than just these that got scrubbed before I saw them. Now, there was one other comment that caught my eye, and it was this one. Aren't internet celebrities all driven by commercial interests? Can fabricating a review video mislead people? I do have some answers on that. Am I an internet celebrity? I guess so. I don't think of myself that way. Am I driven by commercial interests? Well, you know, as a viewer, you should probably assume that I am. I do my best on videos like this to disclose all of my incentives, and I did that in this video as well. But for you to come in and be skeptical, I think that's a pretty good default position. Can fabricating a review video mislead people? Well, that's a rhetorical question. Yes, absolutely it can. But I do find it pretty amusing to see a comment like that coming from an account that was created yesterday. So did FLSUN pay somebody to come out and write these comments? You know, I wasn't in the room. I can't read people's minds, but I will say that it sure looks like it. This certainly is not a good look for them. And if you dig around on the internet, you will find accusations of them using people's names to fabricate reviews and other sketchy stuff like this happening in the past. Again, I wasn't there. I can't make any kind of definitive statement, but it is definitely not a good look. The practical reality here is that at this point, we're only pretending that humans are the dominant actors on the internet. We're already at a point where more than half of the content that you're likely to run into on the internet is actually machine generated. It's out there for marketing products, it's for influencing public opinion, it's for click farming, for profit, generating traffic that generates clicks that the owner of the content's getting paid for. If you go out and ask a random question into your favorite search engine, there's a pretty good chance that the first few hits that you run into are going to be what look like blog articles on the topic, but when you read through them, they're almost information free. It's just a whole bunch of words that are related to what you asked, but there's no real insight, there's no real information, there's no real content there. It was just generated as, what do you think a machine would think an answer to this question would look like? They spew it out, they get the click, they sell the ads. You click a video on YouTube that looks interesting, a lot of the time you're going to see a bunch of stock footage rolling over a machine synthesized voice narrating just reading a Wikipedia article. it's gotten to the point where the kind of pollution of that kind of garbage content is so high that, pretty soon the machine learning systems are going to start ingesting their own output and just get stupider and stupider, and we may already be seeing that. There are some estimates at this point that more than 90% of the content being published on the internet is going to be machine generated by as early as next year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think it's certainly plausible. And then, of course, it's not just the content generation, it's also the engagement. We are also at a point where more than half of the engagement, more than half of the web traffic, more than half of the connections to websites are also machine generated, either for generating fake engagement to drive profit for advertising revenue, sucking up data and squirreling it away in huge databases as training sets or for analysis, probing for security vulnerabilities, or just running scams. I mean, you don't think there are actual humans out there placing all those comments on all those videos saying, hey, you just won something, contact me on Telegram. Those pig butchering scams and all the texts that you're getting, those are generated by machines, and then they're farmed out to humans on the back end to run them. So what do we do about this? I don't know. Kyle Hill just did a very interesting video on the so-called dead internet theory, or the idea that the internet is mostly machines now and there aren't actually any humans out there. Definitely worth a watch. I think he captures the situation pretty well and communicates it pretty clearly. He's fantastic at that. But as far as what we do, I don't know. I will keep doing what I do. I'll put the best information out that I can as honestly and transparently as I can. But I totally understand that when people watch it, they are going to be suspicious of my motives and they're not going to believe me. And to be honest, that's probably a pretty good default policy.